Boom.
Hey.
What's up?
Another Monday.
What's up, guys?
Man, it's been I haven't been on the last 2 weeks. Y'all have been without me for 2 weeks now.
That's right. It's been forever since we've seen you on here. I completely forgot about that. Grant and I were having fun, just me and him, not having to worry about you.
Yeah.
The past two guests, Stanley has said that replaced John, actually, but
yeah. I heard that mess. Hey, Ben's in the house. How you doing, Ben?
What's up, Ben?
For any of those that we only got a few people in here, but anybody rewatching. So you see down in the bottom over there, we got Jason with Goode Life Outdoors. Goode, yes?
You got it, man. First try.
All right, good. And Jason is here in Texas. As a matter of fact, he's recently moved down to Rockport, where I would love to be down in Rockport.
Yeah.
So lucky him. And for those of you that don't know the crew, which what's wrong with you if you don't know the crew? But beside me over here, we've got Grant McIntosh. He's up out of Southern Illinois. Then below me down there, we got Mr. Stanley Orchard, who is just a little bit further south Texas than me, and I'm in San Antonio. And as you see the little streamer going across the bottom, folks, you're making history being here tonight. You are at the season finale for season 2 of Outdoors live streams with the Outdoors crew.
That's over 100 episodes we have done. Yeah, we don't take much time off.
Right. This year, okay, there's 52 weeks in a year. We did 48 live streams. This is the 48th live stream.
Mm-hmm.
So we've taken 4 live streams off, basically.
Right.
So I'm pretty.
Good job, guys. Good job, guys. Good job, guys.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, right.
And thanks for joining us, Jason. Good to see you.
Yep.
Thank you.
It's
Glad to be here.
You're from the Rockport area?
Rockport, yes, sir.
I might have to look that one up. I don't remember seeing that on our way to Padre Island.
Rockport's a strange one where it's like you have that road that goes from San Antonio to Corpus Christi, Rockport, and there's like a whole area of stuff that's like north of there that's kind of like on a different route. So it's not going to be, you don't get many signs or anything directing you that way, but that makes it nice and secluded, kind of out of the way, which it's one of those places where all of us, that's where we're going to want to go when we have time off.
Yeah,
it's a sleepy little fishing town. We love it down here. It's awesome. Fishing's great. People are great. Got some good food around here.
Really pretty area. Yeah.
Enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, if I go down there with the boat with the guys, we're going to put in Con Brown. We stay in Rockport there, and then just that's where we work out of, when we're going fishing. So I love that area. Now, if we're going to the beach, we go the other way. We go over down by North Padre Island and stay somewhere in there. But if we're going
you can't access you can, but the beach, the island that would be extended from Rockport's, that's all privately owned. That's not public land that you can go to.
Right. St. Joe's.
That's right.
Yep.
Justin, Weekend Warrior Outdoors, good to see you. Flash in your pan.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to turn this room.
Flash in your pan. Are you here because I told you I haven't seen you in a minute, but I know who you are. We hung out on the Nick Nimmin live streams. Are you here because of me, or are you buddies with Jason? I'm curious if you guys are friends or not, because we've all got the two buddy Nick Nimmin kind of background and stuff that we all did.
Gotcha.
While we're waiting on that, Jason, I do have a couple of questions for you. We will get to that in a minute, but tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Tell us about your channel. What do you do? What have you been up to? And what exciting things can we look forward to seeing from you in 2022?
Oh man, yeah. I started my channel, Goode Life Outdoors, in 2018. Just started filming because I was out there doing it anyway, fishing, hunting, cooking up whatever I caught or killed, and been kind of growing that over the past 3 years and having a really good time doing it. And yeah, I'm down here in Rockport now. I started off around the Austin area doing all that. So like I said, lots of fishing, love to fish. We have a deer lease where we go hunting every year near Wimberley, which is in Central Texas. A lot of good hunting up there. So yeah, I just enjoy the heck out of all that stuff, just being outdoors. And so, yeah, more of that coming up this year. Now I'm not sure even, Stanley, if you know this, I've started a new channel because I had a little success on some of my videos where I was building things, because I also am a hobbyist carpenter. So I actually started up a new channel, but that's not what we're discussing here. This is all outdoor stuff. So, but that one's called Make It Goode. But the Goode Life Outdoors, yeah, I've got a lot of fun things planned. I've got a lot of fishing trips coming up. Got some more hunting trips coming up. So yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, your hunting stuff is, I'm not gonna lie, like your access to hunting and everything, being that this is South Texas, that's what got you on the live stream. That's how you got the invite. You were trying to make friends.
Good to know. All right.
Oh man. Well, we're going to talk. Well, first of all, you know what we didn't do yet. Let's go. So, Mr. Stanley Orchard, how was your weekend, sir?
Yeah. So, well, I didn't do. Okay. So you know what I did? We hadn't done this forever, and it was a lot of fun. So we hung out with a couple of friends. It's an associate of Rachel's up at the school. They work together. We got to hang out with them, her and her husband. It was an absolute blast. We don't get out very often, like at all. Obviously, if I'm sitting here and like talking about it, it's probably the first people we've hung out with this year, a pandemic year, in combination with we just don't do that. Like, you guys are the only ones I've hung out with this year, you guys and family. So it was awkward. Happened to be social, but man, we had a lot of fun hanging out with them. So we're looking forward to doing that again in the future. And took us, that was it. We had a whole lot of fun with that, and then I vegged out for the entire rest of the weekend.
Good deal.
And loved every minute.
What
How about you?
Grant?
Yeah, we got up at 4:00 Saturday morning to go duck hunting, and the radar was just covered up with red and yellow and green, so we went back to bed. Our son did have a college basketball game Saturday afternoon. We got to watch him play some good hard fought basketball. Another close one they lost, but it was a good game.
Good.
We got a permit Wednesday to go duck hunting, so looking forward to that. Finally got some colder temperatures. It's supposed to be 60 degrees on Saturday. I know that's cold for you guys down there in Texas, but
yeah, that's freezing.
Yeah,
that's bad news. I'm sorry you have to suffer through that.
Yeah. 60 on Christmas Day. It's going to be hot for duck hunting. 60 degrees is hot. You can't wear insulated chest waders and 60 degrees and not start sweating.
Yeah, it sounds miserable. Yeah, our weather. This weekend watched a lot of football, hung out. Daughter came over and hung out. Didn't do a lot. But yeah, the weather. Like, I think Sunday our high was in the 50s, low 50s. Today it was supposed to hit 60. Christmas is supposed to be near 80. So we got civil weather. Jason, what'd you do this last weekend?
I was actually up near the Austin area. I had to go up there Friday for work. Same kind of thing as Stanley. I used that as an opportunity to get together with people, and yeah, kind of interesting getting out and actually seeing people face to face. It was really nice to
like
catch
3D.
up with some buddies. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, we had a good time and just did that most of the weekend. Came back Saturday evening and then hung out on Sunday.
Nice. Very cool. So, Jason, I was looking at your last video where you had the
I want to talk
unsuccessful
about
hunt,
this.
right?
Yep.
First of all, kudos to you for putting up an unsuccessful hunt. I've put up one unsuccessful fishing trip, and I haven't done another one since because it wasn't that great. But that's not what I want to talk to you about. So the Texas Parks and Wildlife draw hunts, I've been putting in for them for a couple years now. I haven't been real, like, I'll miss a year, but for the last 4 years or so, I've never gotten drawn for Jack Doodley. So who are you paying off? Who do I need to pay off drawn to get one of those hunts? That's what I want to know.
So, if you're familiar at all with the draw hunts, and John, obviously you are because you put in for them, but they're open to anybody who wants to go and hunt. And depending on which category you put in for, they could be real popular.
Yeah.
They also work on point systems. So, the more you put in, the more different times your name gets put in there. So first year gets put in one time, second year gets put in 2 times. Depending on the hunt, sometimes that cubes over the years, so that really increases your chances. Sometimes it's just 1-to-1 for every year. So my dad's been doing this for years and years and years. He puts in for, we probably 6 to 8 hunts a year he puts in, and he's very consistent about it. So it's one of those to where we know that every year we're just increasing points until we get drawn. And of course, once you get drawn, it goes back to 0. If you'd seen earlier on, we got drawn this year for an antelope hunt. We've been putting in for 26 years, every single year, and finally got drawn. Now there's about 9,000 people who put that in for that every year, and they choose 12. So, I mean, it's a lot.
Wow.
So in the case of the Hill Country State Natural Area there near Bandera, where I was hunting last week, still a lot of people. I mean, it's close to San Antonio. It's a neat area. People want to hunt it. It was a doe-only hunt, but you also have the opportunity to shoot pigs and exotic animals. So it's probably not as popular. It's not as desirable as some of the other hunts because you're not going after like something really cool like a pronghorn. But it still takes some time to put in, get drawn, and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, this is the first time we've gotten drawn for anything in at least 3 years.
And it's also, like you said, not only is it what you're putting in for, but where. Like, I noticed the locations close to San Antonio, you got, over the 7th largest city in the nation right here. You got thousands of people putting in for these few little places that we can hunt. So I keep throwing my name in there. It only costs a few bucks if you get picked. So
exactly. Just keep doing it. It's one of those things. It's helping out, your $3 per hunt or per draw is helping out Texas Parks and Wildlife. The Texas Parks and Wildlife crew puts on a great hunt when they do it. So it's a good opportunity. Yeah. Something else to consider, though, with those is you can go and a lot of them do standby hunts. So you can show up the day of the hunt and see if they'll choose you. Sometimes they have openings, sometimes they don't. You have to check ahead of time. But we've had luck doing that in the past as well.
Yeah, I might try some of that this year because I think the drawings are there's still some hunts in January for doe and stuff that might not have drawn yet, but I think they're pretty close to done this year.
Sure.
When you do those, is that private land? Is it public land that you go out on? And how do those hunts? Do they put you up in a blind? Are you hiking around? How does that work out?
It depends. Usually it's on state land. So in this case, this was a state natural area, the Hill Country State Natural Area. They have wildlife management areas. Again, it's all state owned. It's not necessarily private. I've hunted in state parks. I've hunted in Guadalupe River State Park. I've hunted in where else? And a lot of times you're actually in Pedernales State Park. Some of these that are just around. Okay. So I mean, that's where most of these are held. And it really depends on the hunt. Like the one I was on this past weekend near Bandera, it was very much, you had assigned blinds. You could walk to and from your blind, but they did not want you wandering around. So when I didn't see anything, I couldn't have just got up and moved to a different place, where there'd be like a choke point or something. They try to find good areas where they've seen deer, but you just never know. So in that particular case, yeah, you're very much kind of locked down to where they assign you.
And I assume they tell you like what direction you're allowed to fire. You know, they're pretty serious about where you can even walk.
I mean, yeah. In the case of mine, I could shoot 4 different directions. There was not a concern of me being close enough to somebody else to have that be an issue. I mean, I think over the 5,000 acres there were 16 hunters, and they had them pretty well spaced out.
Yeah,
can you feed? Can you throw down corn?
In this case, yes. Yeah. It depends on the hunt. This one you were able to bait. You could put corn down. We brought a little bit of alfalfa just because we'd heard axis deer like alfalfa, so we threw that out just to see if anything would show up. It didn't work, but
axis is yummy.
Yes, it is.
Speaking, I'm getting pretty hungry just having this conversation in general.
Yeah. On the flip side of that, when we were in far north Texas for the antelope hunt, we didn't even have an orientation with anybody. They just sent us a tag and said, "Here's the 70,000 acres you have to hunt. Go for it. Here's when the hunt starts. Here's where it ends."
Imagine you got something you had to check in or something.
We didn't have unless we had to check in if we shot something.
Right.
But we ran into all sorts of wardens out there that were just kind of patrolling the area, so we didn't have to go anywhere to check in. They came to us.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And I assume when you're doing, you get something, so you're probably responsible for having to go. You field dress it. They don't have any. How do you get them out of there? What's the process on that?
Typically, they'll want you to field dress it. They're in the field. They have, some places have facilities where you can go and like skinning racks and all that kind of stuff where you can process it down. Chaparral Wildlife Management Area down near Cotulla has really nice facilities for processing and everything. But for the most part, yeah, find a tree, hang it up, skin and quarter it out in the field or wherever you have the ability to do so. But yeah, they usually want you to field dress it in the field, then bring it up and have it checked. And then after that, you kind of are responsible for processing it yourself.
Very cool.
So stupid question on this. This is an ignorant question of mine. I'm going to ask it anyway. Per the hunting that I've done in the past, I've never done anything on state land or anything like that. So when we field dress, we might not be getting rid of the remains in the most, in the way that you would probably be encouraged to do so. What do you do with the remains that you're leaving behind? Like you're not just going to kick them off in the creek. Do they have issues? Like, do that make you take that back and throw it away, or how's that work out?
So if you're gutting an animal, you just leave the guts wherever you gut them. Coyotes and buzzards are going to take care of it.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, they just leave it right there. That gets cleaned up pretty quick. Depending on the other types of, like there in Bandera, they had a place where you could go to skin and quarter, and they just said, yeah, put all the parts and everything in the dumpster. And so that was how we would take care of that. When we've been down in South Texas, where they have a dedicated cleaning area, they just had buckets put up for all the extra pieces, and every once in a while, one of the staff would just go and take them out into the field and dump them somewhere for all the critters to eat.
Yeah, we go fishing. Says the trash collectors hate you. I appreciate that it's the trash collectors that hate your house. Yeah. I collect a lot of fish carcasses, and they go to whatever neighbor I am not fond of that given day.
I'm nice enough to freeze my stuff first before I put it in the
I'm not smart enough. I don't have that foresight to freeze it.
Doing too. Even the Thanksgiving turkey cart, anything like that, throw it in the bag, throw it in the freezer, and then morning of trash day, hopefully remember to take it out there and throw it in the trash. Yeah.
Exactly.
Part of our fishing experience is having a drink or two and then heading out to like any place that fired me and dropping the guts in their parking lot.
Nice.
He's telling on himself publicly.
Yeah, let's say.
Well, no, what's funny about that is if anybody watches this after the fact and maybe they did work at a place where I used to work at, and experienced that, they're going to be like, it was that guy.
He's the one.
Yep.
All right, Jason, what do you like better? Hunting or fishing?
Man, that's
Your forte.
I'll say fishing. I mean, I love to fish. I mean, it's just I grew up doing it. I had a pole in my hand at my earliest memory. I enjoy hunting. I mean, hunting, I can get usually more meat for my family.
Yeah.
And so it's more of a practical hobby. Because you shoot a deer, you have food for a while. You catch a limit of fish, you probably don't have food for all that long. But yeah, I mean, I do enjoy both very, very much. But yeah, fishing's got my heart. That's why I'm down here in Rockport. Just the opportunity to do it much more often.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, me too. Rockport is high on my my list of places that I would very much like to get into.
Absolutely.
And Stanley, you're in Beeville, right?
Yeah, and
Okay, so
I'm out here because of the Eagleford, and all the opportunities that keep presenting themselves are all out in the Eagleford. So I've got to be close enough to that, and that puts me right in between Corpus Christi and San Antonio.
Right.
So I'm kind of stuck in this area until something in the Corpus Christi area opens up.
Mm-hmm.
Say, Levine. I got a question for you. You like doing fishing. You do a lot of fishing in the area. I don't know many people around here. I mean, I know that they do a lot of kayak fishing in the area, but I am wholly unfamiliar with it. Tell us a little bit about the kayak fishing that you do. You hook into some pretty big reds. I'm curious if you have issues with some of those bull reds. I know you got some recent videos where you hooked in some big reds on a kayak. And do you have issues with that flipping you over? What do you do?
No, I've not had it. Luckily, I've not had any issues with being flipped over. It's something I've been doing. I mean, I've been fishing from a kayak for well over 20 years now. So I bought my first kayak that happened to be a sit-on-top kayak from an older gentleman here in Rockport. I actually drove down from Austin to buy a kayak here in Rockport back in the very early 2000s.
Dedication.
Fished on that for a while, and that was a narrow, kind of short kayak. Wasn't a whole lot to it. I had to kind of rig it up to where I could actually carry a fishing pole with me and still paddle. And I fished out that thing for years, and I caught out into, I think the biggest fish I caught out of that was probably about a 30-inch black drum.
Nice.
On a paddle tail, which was bizarre, but.
I've never caught a black drum on anything that wasn't weird.
Yeah, who knew? But yeah, that was probably my least stable kayak, and I never flipped in it. So it's just kind of keeping your pole forward, kind of knowing where you're going. I mean, if you're flipping it out behind you, you got to be ready for something to take you off guard. So it's just kind of steadying yourself for that scenario. And then over the years, I've kind of upgraded the kayaks as I've gone. I went to a native kayak, which was kind of a shallow canoe, which was, I could stand in that, no problem. And I'm a big guy. I'm like 6'2" and not thin. Stability has always been, since
saying that with this crew.
Since the first one, I've just gone for something that's nice and stable. So, flipping over is not an issue. And then now I'm in a Hobie Pro Angler, which is this side of a boat. I mean, it's just, I can stand up, almost walk around in it.
Is that the one with the motor, or is it still pedal drive?
It's pedal drive. Yeah, I started having issues with my shoulder, so paddling was a little bit of a pain. And I didn't want to give up fishing, so I put my legs to work and used my shoulder for fishing. Worked out real well.
Smart.
What is it when you're if you're out there, if you're looking to get into a kayak, if you had to go buy one today, what are the things that you're looking for in a kayak for fishing?
For fishing, I want to have something I can store stuff in. I'll admit, my Pro Angler, it's a 14-foot, almost 3-foot wide kayak. It's big, it's heavy. So knowing that, I've had that for a few years now. I'd probably go with something lighter. I'd probably go with something a little smaller, but still have the ability to carry stuff in. Storage is great. Not only for being out on the water, but being ready to go out on the water. So, having little pockets and everything in there. It's in my garage, ready to throw in the truck. I've got everything I know that's in there. I keep kayak specific gear in there, and I can just slide in the truck and go, and I'm good to go. So I'm looking for something that's, again, just kind of nice and stable, something I don't have to worry about if I'm out on the water and the wind picks up or a storm rolls in. But something that is manageable, because I'm not getting any younger. Throwing a 125, 130 pound kayak in the back of the truck at the end of a day of fishing is not getting any easier. So,
Yeah.
Especially if it's full of fish too, huh?
So have a live well. Fish. That's right. Yep.
Well said.
I built a little live well. It's more for bait. I think I would call it a bait tank, but no, I usually stringer my fish.
Now,
have you ever had issues with that?
Yeah. Have you ever had dolphins or shark issues when you had fish on a stringer out there?
I've been lucky. No, and everywhere I fish, there are dolphins. They are around all the time. They seem to know me. They follow me around. Sharks, I'm not. I've seen them out there in the bay. I know they're out there around there, but I've not had any issues with them coming and grabbing fish or anything.
That's good.
And I think it's just me being lucky more than anything. It's going to happen at some point in time if I keep doing it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Makos breed in the bay. We just kind of found that out recently. They don't eat when they breed. That's why nobody ever catches them. But like A&M had a pair of Makos that washed up on the beach a couple years ago at A&M.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I never knew that.
I didn't know that
either. I know. And that makes you think, those guys, they're cruising in the ship channel. They're back up there in the bay. They're around the Lexington and all those places. You got Makos running around in season, whenever that is, February or whatever.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So what's the dream hunt?
My dream hunt?
Yep.
So I've hunted elk. I've hunted bear. I'd love to go after moose. That's a pretty hard one to get into, but they're supposed to be great eating. It's a big animal. Really neat areas they hang out with. I've run across moose when I've been hunting for other things, and I think that would be definitely on the top of my list.
I bet. Man,
you get moose, you better have a barbecue, and we're all going to collaborate. We're all going to collaborate. Come down to your kitchen.
Nice.
So what's the bucket list fish?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. You beat me.
Yeah. That's a good one. I one of my things, and I've actually been considering this, kind of saving my pennies and getting down there to Panama and doing the Los Movos thing, catching on some rooster
I can
fish.
see you doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to try that out. That just looks like a heck of a lot of fun. Go out there, never know what's going to bite. Could hook into a marlin, hooked into a cubera snapper. That just seems like
a big rooster fish or something.
Yeah, those big rooster fish look like a lot of fun to catch.
Yeah, that would be cool.
At some point we're going to have Robert Fields going to be on here with us. We told him if he doesn't, kind of get it together, we're going to strong arm him.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, make sure I'm on there with you on that one.
Man, you go on one of those trips with him. I love watching that. Now I'm not going to kayak. I'm too old, big, and broken, but. I would still love to go there. I'll fish from the Panga. I don't care.
I agree.
Awesome trips they do down there. Absolutely. So have you taken your kayak out the jetties or off the beach anywhere, or do you stay?
I haven't. It's one of those things I'm hoping to do since I'm down here now. It's one of those things where
you can pick the right
day. Especially getting out there, when it's nice and calm, getting past those breakers. But a day that it's going to hopefully stay nice and calm so you can come back and not get completely destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you gotta make sure everything's buckled down, tied in, strapped in, just because when you're coming in, one of them breakers might just roll you.
That's right.
Don't want to lose your gear.
All the issues that I've ever had, it's never in the morning. It's always at the end of the day.
Right.
Winds have kicked up. Things start getting rough.
It sounds about right.
Yep. And so all those things you think of, going back to your question about what to look for when you're, buying a kayak, it's those worst possible scenarios.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Yeah, this is a great kayak if I'm in a little pond that's perfectly calm, but what's going to happen if, I'm in the bay and it starts throwing water spouts and everything else. So
yeah, those bays.
Have you run across?
What's that?
Have you run across those kinds of conditions?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was I was back out of Estes Flats, and there was a big old storm rolled through. I was right out in the middle, couldn't get back into anything, and just kind of rode it back to the launch, and there was water spouts in the area. There was, it kicked up from perfectly calm to, about 3 foot swells, which it gets pretty sporty when you're in a little kayak.
In shallow water, so they're not far apart, probably.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're got that straight up face on them.
Yep.
Yeah, I know Copano Bay with the right winds can look horrible. Corpus Christi Bay, all of them pretty much. If the wind, based on how the bay is laid out, the wind's blowing the right direction, you can get beat up out there, even in a regular boat.
Yeah, exactly.
We Go Fishing asks, have you looked into those kayaks with the Minn Kota drive?
My dad just got one.
Nice.
He hasn't taken it out yet. I'm curious to go test it out for him a little bit once he brings it down. So. But yeah, he just got one, and he says it's for my mom. I'm kind of questioning that. I'm like,
Your family is right up my family's alley. Dad got one, and you're going to get him down here so that you can take care of him and break it in, but it's for your mom.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Grant, do you guys have a lot of kayaking up there? I'm curious about your lakes and waterways and stuff like that. You guys got a bunch of people fishing on those.
I think most of the people kayak around here. There are some people that kayak fish, but I think the most of the kayakers in the area are for pleasure. Just, they'll go through your duck decoys because it's 60 degrees. They're out kayaking, so they're going to kayak right through your duck decoys in the middle of the swamp, looking for the
60 degrees out.
Looking for the world record cypress tree.
My goodness. It sounds like that's happened to you.
True story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you point us in the direction of that world record cypress tree? Yeah, it's over there.
I seen, and I know it was on TikTok, but these guys are out duck hunting, right? And they got decoys in the water in front of them, right? And they're on a shoreline. And this lady comes walking up and starts throwing bread at the decoys and calling them. Those aren't real. We're hunting here.
That needs to be a commercial for whoever made those decoys.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I seen that. It's funny.
That's solid advertising.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, all the people. I know one person that kayak fishes, but for the most part, the people I know, they kayak for fun. Like the Missouri's got some, I call them a creek. They call it a river. People flow down, tube down, kayak down.
Yeah. Yeah, keep them there, not in the hunting areas or the fishing areas, dang it. So
I think we can all universally, like kayaks, boats, whatever, we all have our opinions on that kind of thing, what they do, good for and everything. But I think we can all universally agree, screw the jet ski guys.
Right. Now, I was looking up that pro angler. That looks pretty sharp. I think I've just been scared of tipping over. I've never been in a nice kayak like that. Looks pretty sharp.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, they'll do everything. It's well more kayak than I need, what I do, but I'm glad to have it. It's a big old thing.
I know around here, and probably most places where they sell kayaks like that, they typically have like at least once a year or something. They have kind of a, hey, come out and test them out. They got some water nearby, and you go out there and just get on whatever kayak you want and just see if it's something that's for you or not. So it's something to look into if you're interested. All right, Jason.
They had a deal.
Audio keeps jacking up. I'm going to come back.
Okay. Go ahead, Sam.
I was just going to say they had a deal at Wind and Wave Water Sports in Flower Bluff when we rented the kayak over there for Sharkathon a couple of years ago. I did not enjoy that experience, by the way, but the kayak portion of that experience. But one of the rules for that was that you were only allowed to take it into the bay. You weren't allowed to take that kayak offshore.
Right.
We're not taking it to the beach.
I believe that.
So we did it for Sharkathon. We did our fishing in the bay that year.
Sure you did. Jason, you said that, well, I'm assuming you have traveled to hunt. You talk about black bear, and you've seen moose when you were hunting for other things. So that tells me you've gone out of state. What about fishing? What kind of out of state fishing have you done? Left Texas to go into?
I've done quite a bit. I've kind of dabbled in fly fishing for a while there. It's not something I do regularly, but I have all the equipment to do so. So I've gone out and camped and hiked and done stuff in New Mexico, Colorado. I've done some back when I was younger. Did an offshore trip out of Alabama. But yeah, usually, if I know I'm going to be out close to nature, I'll usually bring a rod with me of some kind. So cool. Yeah, I like going out and going on fishing trips away from like the vacation with some fishing included. That way, wife's good with it, but you still get to do some fishing too. Yeah.
I agree. I am. We did a lot of fishing this year out of the area. I got out of my comfort zone a lot this year, and I had so much fun doing that. In Michigan, Wisconsin, did rainbow trout last week down here in Corpus, and that was. I got the video coming out tomorrow. It is not the experience that I was expecting, and yet that's not bad. It wasn't a bad thing. It was a whole lot of fun, but not what I was expecting.
So you were fishing rainbow trout in Corpus?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm curious to see that then.
They stocked rainbow trout in the duck pond at West Goode Park in Annabelle.
Huh.
I don't know why.
Cool.
John was he's the one that told me about it, so I took advantage of it.
Huh.
I check out the video tomorrow, man.
I'm going to check it out.
And everything.
You got me.
Yeah, if you look up the Texas Parks and Wildlife trout program, they do that all around Texas, and it's just this time of year they'll stock anywhere. They started some of them in November, usually go into January, and it's kind of like hey, go catch them, right? There's no size limit. Keep what you catch, and so just to give people the experience, because they know those trout are going to die once the hot weather hits in these waters. So they want people to go out there and catch them. So it's a put and take type thing. But and you know what? Trout's good. So ain't no reason not to go try to get them.
Yep.
Thank you for that. Ben's got a list of everything that Texas Parks and Wildlife stocks in the chat down there in case anybody's curious. They got some interesting ones. It's worth checking out. Ben, I appreciate you doing that. It's worth checking out that list. If we hadn't checked out that list, John, if John hadn't checked out that list, I wouldn't have known about West Goode. And I only knew about West Goode Park. He mentioned that name. I used to live right behind that place. So I heard that and I was like, no way. I know exactly where that pond is. I grew up over there. And that was the whole thing that got me there in the first place. Go check it out. And it was fun. It was totally worth it. I had a genuine, a lot of fun going and hanging out over there. I intended to go for an hour, and I ended up staying for like 4 hours. Had a blast.
Oh, that's awesome.
We go fishing. Thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you guys have a good Christmas also. We got
Yeah, man. Happy holidays to the family.
Wayne's in the
I'll take
house. How
care
you
of it.
doing, Wayne?
So Wayne,
Wayne, good to see you, man.
Yep. Been a minute. So here we go. I got one for our panel, our guys here. So our first episode this year, we had a guest on for the first episode. Do either of you recall who the guest was? And I will say that, remember, so it was me and Steve and Grant and Stanley were all four the outdoors crew. We've gone to three, but one of the crew wasn't here, but this guest was.
Yeah, that one of the crew that wasn't there remembers the guest.
Grant, do you remember who it was?
I'm gonna say C-Pro.
Yeah, I'm going to say Wayne on that one.
You're both wrong.
No.
Really? Wayne wasn't the first one?
Darren's Northern Life.
Oh, Darren.
Oh, I was gone for that one too?
Yep, it was Darren.
I have more sick days this day than I realized. I missed out on Wayne and Darren.
Yeah, you missed both of them.
Shit, I couldn't remember if Mark was last week or the week before. So there you go.
Oh, Darren, what was that in January? That had to have been January, right?
Yeah,
so I was in Mexico.
Episode. Yeah, that's right. You were in Mexico.
Okay, so I have a valid excuse. I took vacation. That was PTO.
And you were fishing, kind of, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we got that big old barracuda down in Mexico.
Yeah, that's right.
And I lost my computer.
Mm-hmm.
I broke my computer in Mexico. So
yeah, you've done some great things in Mexico. Yeah, no, we had C-Pro on. I don't remember the exact time, but I know it was before I went there because we were talking about putting me on a Goliath and all that stuff. So before I went to Florida to fish with them. So I went there in early May. So it had to been probably March or April when he was on.
I was going to say, I thought that was March. You know what's funny about that is we were talking last year about this year being the year of Collabothon. And they were like, man, the pandemic's going to shut that down. It's going to be a different year. It ended up being a Collabothon year.
Pretty much, yeah.
Jason, welcome to Collabothon.
Oh,
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're catching the tail end of it, but you're in it.
Glad I made the cut.
We also had Darcizzle Brian from Darcizzle Offshore. He was on here one time.
Yeah,
that's cool.
He was a good guest. He was funny.
I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying the people we're having on.
Jack and Coke as usual. What you guys got?
I'm going rum. Lady Bly.
Oh, raise a leg. What you got, Grant?
Just some light beer. We're still,
He's
haven't
on
moved
call.
up to the big boys drinking. No, I'm not on call.
I save the light beer for when I'm on call.
What are you sipping on, Wayne?
Yeah, what's the drink of choice in the chat tonight? Ben, what are you working on? Ben's got excellent choice in whiskey, by the way. I don't know. I don't think he drinks whiskey, but he's got excellent taste in whiskey.
We'll see what they say. We will see what they say. Oh, so what's coming? So it's funny you say Collabothon because actually we got to go back to 2020 was originally going to be.
Yeah, that's when it really hit the fan.
And that's when, COVID pretty much did put the snafu on Collabothon in 2020. But then, and it's kind of funny because 2021's coming. We're all like, okay, we're over this pandemic. We're going to do all this stuff. And we did do a lot of stuff, but I still had a lot of stuff nixed because of what was going on with COVID and all that. So it was still an issue. I still didn't get to do as much as I want. So part of me wants to say, okay, 2022 is going to, but I don't want to jinx it, right? So 2022 is going to be what it's going to be.
As long as you step it up and you beat 2021, you're good. You know, as long as you're improving, as long as you're not flatlining.
Agreed. I got to fish more. That's one of the things.
Yeah. And you know what? So I don't want to hammer this too hard because I have the exact same issues that you do, but we are in the same vicinity. And Jason, you're in on this as well. I mean, you're in the same vicinity here. I'm not a social person. I don't like hanging out with people. I get anxiety from it. It makes me nervous. Hanging out with you guys, Sharkathon made me like anxious. You know, I'm not going to lie about that. Grant, when you were down, I played it well, but I was anxious about that. And you guys are some of my closest friends. That having been said, we're down here. We're in the vicinity. It need to make we all kind of, I think, need to make a more concerted effort to ensure that, you know, if we're down here fishing or something, at least have open lines of communication on it. I know that's what I'm encouraging myself to do. I'm not saying that I'm going to push myself to collaborate more with other people, but I am definitely going to have more open lines of communication about those opportunities.
I was going to ask Jason, have you had, since you've been doing your YouTube channel, have you had the opportunity to do a collaboration with another YouTuber yet?
I have kind of early on. Nick from RX Angler hit me up. He saw one of my videos that I was hunting, and he hit me up and said, "Hey, I'd like to go hunting. I've never tried it before." So I took him he met me up at the deer lease kind of after season. We went around and looked for pigs, got some shots off at him, kind of out of the truck, but didn't connect. But that kind of started up a nice little, you know, we text back and forth every once in a while. I haven't gone out fishing with him. I'd like to be able to do that, but yeah, certainly something I'm open to. I love meeting new people. I love, you know, introducing folks to things they haven't done before. So yeah, collaborations are a lot of fun.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, I watched RX Angler. He's got that buddy, MDLR. Is it MDLR?
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah,
Mark De La Rosa.
Retired Marine. Yep. They're both big time kayak fishermen.
Yes, they are. And I've actually emailed back and forth with Mark. He was going to be down in the area. We just weren't able to connect, but somebody else I'd like to meet up with. He does his channel well too, and is always on the fish. So he's doing something right.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I've seen him do some traveling in the last year too. I think I seen him go out to California and fish.
Yep.
So that's cool.
Stanley, like you're saying, you know, keep those lines of communication up. I mean, like y'all come down to Rockport, let me know, man. I like going out and fishing with folks, and I've got an extra kayak. You know, you can give it a try.
You ain't getting me no dang kayak.
Yeah, I will do that for you for a limited amount. I would do that for you. I would do that for Danny Baker. Like begrudgingly, I would do that. Not many people are going to get me on a kayak. It's just not my thing. And I like standing up as a reason. Like I feel really awkward sitting down fighting a fish, so that's going to be an acquired taste.
Sure, absolutely.
But, you know, that having said, I've seen your Instagram, and anybody who is unfamiliar with the Goode Life fishing the Goode Life Outdoors, at the very least, check them out on Instagram. I love, two things. So you've always, like, whenever you're out there, you're always posting pictures of some good fish. That's one of those solid things that I love seeing. But for two, one of the things I love, and you started doing this back in like January, I think, and I don't think you've done it quite as much lately, but I'm going to mention it anyway. So you started posting pics of just like the sunrise in Rockport. It was like right when you moved in, and you just started like on the water sunrises. I absolutely love that. And I didn't leave comments on every single one of them, but man, don't think I didn't see every single one of them. I love that. I think you should continue that trend personally.
That encourages me. I'll start doing that again, which means I need to get my butt out of bed a little earlier before I go to work. So
yeah, you know, I know how that is.
Guilt me into it, but I'll get up a little early and start doing that again.
I'm going to give you a little secret on that. You got to batch that content. Get up early one day a week and take two phones, like that old one that you got that you don't use anymore, you know, and film the same sunrise from slightly different angles, and do one as a sunrise, do one of them as a time lapse, maybe do one as a super slow-mo. You know, I'm giving you like the real like insider tricks here.
Insider.
But you can get a week's worth of content in one day that way.
Awesome.
By the way, his link to his YouTube channel is down below, along with all of our links and the new link to our website that we've got going now.
That's right. We have a website. It's worth checking out. There's no way that we're getting ad revenue or anything off of that anytime soon. Get in on it now while you're not inundated with ads.
Yep, absolutely. You will see no ads. And it's a growing, living thing. So if you think we should put something in there that we don't have in there, go ahead and send us a message. He just popped off, but Grant just posted up a link to your Instagram. So those of you looking for his Instagram, awesome. There it is.
Yeah, it's a great resource. Thank you for doing that, Grant. That's a great resource for it. If you just want that little, in the morning, whatever, you just want that little taste of the bay, whatever, the sunrise to brighten your morning. That's where I went for it.
There you go.
Cool. Stanley, for you, I'll start doing it a little bit more.
Dude, I appreciate that. I was enjoying it. I was enjoying it. When I didn't enjoy it the most was when it froze. And you were doing that. And I remember, even to this day, that was in February now, but I remember this day, you posted some stuff. I believe it was right then in February, if not like right after or something like that.
I remember that.
And I was just like, screw you, man. I just had to deal with this freeze, and now you're rubbing it in.
You were jealous.
Other than that, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, yes. I'm not going to lie. There's a little bit of that sentiment in there as well.
Hey, Jason, what are you guys doing for Christmas this year?
We're kind of going all over. We usually have everybody come to us for Thanksgiving, which means we kind of travel for Christmas. So, going up to San Marcos to my folks' house on Thursday, coming back to be here for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and then Sunday going to my mother-in-law's house in Brenham. So, little Texas tour.
Where's that?
Brenham, it's between Austin and Houston.
Oh, okay.
It's where Bluebell ice cream is made.
Oh, I thought that sounded familiar.
Yeah.
Brenham, Texas. One I've never heard of. All right, what else you got to grill Jason on, guys? Come on, come up with some stuff.
What's your favorite way of cooking the fish?
Oh, that's good.
Oh, okay. If I get a decent size, like 20 to 23-inch redfish, ceviche all day long.
Really? With redfish?
I thought you were going to say that. I've seen you do the ceviche thing. We talked about that.
I could live off that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen too many people use redfish for ceviche, but
yeah, it's nice and firm.
Fish. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I usually do redfish on the half shell, just right on the grill. Yeah. Some spices and some butter and maybe a little bit of lemon or something on there and let her cook. Just slide it right off the skin.
Nothing wrong with that either.
Delicious. Okay, so bow hunt, rifle hunt, both?
Both.
Okay.
Yep. Been bow
Grant's
hunting.
Grant's a resident bow hunter. That's all, right, Grant? You don't rifle hunt at all, do you?
No, we can't rifle hunt in Illinois.
Oh, wow.
You can't rifle hunt anything at all? I thought that was a deer.
You can use like a 22 rifle for squirrel hunting or small game.
Can you do that here?
Yeah.
You can. Okay, I thought 22s were. I don't know why, but
yeah, there's a season for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can use a big rifle for coyote hunting, but that's about it. Monica, good to see you.
Yep, how you doing, Monica?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Tell the coworker we said hey, and tell them that they should be on here.
Yeah.
Always be plugging.
And so for those who are still here, we said this is the finale, so that tells you next Monday there will not be a show. We are taking the Christmas holiday off, so that includes our next Monday. The next show after that, I'm going to host again just because it's the 3rd of January. It's the first episode of the new season, and it'll be my birthday show because my birthday is the 2nd of January. So
that's right. So be ready to you got to show up with the bells and whistles. You got to be ready to party once we kick off the new season.
Exactly. I'm going to be like 20-something years old on the 2nd of January.
Again, for like the 8th time.
Again and again and again and again. Mark said you're making them want some fish. I know. I
know. That's all I'm
feeling. Fish in a long time.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go catch some fish. See, I'll work tomorrow. Off Wednesday. We've got a permit to duck hunt. Work Thursday, and then I'm off for 11 days. So definitely going to do some duck hunting. I don't know if I'll bow hunt unless the duck season's just terrible. But I've got to go catch some crappie somewhere over those 11 days.
There you go.
I kind of need that. Like, I need, even if it's just like a 60-second video, I don't care. I could use a little like Grant crappie fishing video.
Yeah, same here.
Crappie.
I'm thinking, so I'm off this coming Friday through the next week. So sometime that week, I think I'm going to sneak out to one of the local ponds where they're stocking trout and see if I can get myself a couple of them little trout.
You have some, they're doing that up there. God, I keep pointing stuff backwards. They're stocking some ponds up in your area for trout.
Yep. I don't know how good it's going to be. I got to look at the stocking dates versus the dates I can go. But I'd like to get.
I'd like to have an open.
Like smoke some.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Yeah, I had an unusual experience with it. I'll let you experience it along with me in the video when it posts tomorrow. I won't give you any spoilers, but it really made me want to get back into it and try it again. And I could use like I'd like to watch, study along, to stock up, whatever the excuses. I don't care, take them all. But I'd like to have an open line of communication about your going out there to the ponds and doing it.
Cool. Not a problem. Matter of fact, I've got a video coming out tomorrow too. Oh, yeah, it's like it's this
you
long.
Don't make videos.
It's just over 2 minutes long, and it's just a tech tip on installing electronics on the boat. If you're installing something that is when you buy it, it comes like you're going to hardwire it. There's no quick disconnects on the piece of equipment, but you want to be able to remove it. I got a tech tip for that. So that's coming out tomorrow. It's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds long, I think, because that's all it takes.
Ooh, that's probably going to be. That's one of those. You're going to catch those people who they see that, or they want a solution to that, and they see the length of that video, and they're going to be like, "Yep, that's the one I want."
I hope so.
I got a feeling that's probably going to be a good one for you.
I hope so. We'll see. Haven't done any fishing since the last time we all went to the coast. Well, since I was down at the coast there with you, Stanley, I think is the last time.
I'm still looking forward to. I know how inconvenient and uncomfortable it can be, but I would very much like to do Canyon Lake with you.
I'm going to get you up here on Calaveras Lake so we can actually catch some fish.
Yeah.
Canyon Lake,
and man, I usually make the calls. So
yeah, Canyon Lake can be like the Dead Sea sometimes. Well, most of the time.
It was rough last time.
Yeah, it's. I thought I had it figured out when me and Joel found some crappie there for, a few trips straight, but then it just all of a sudden the lake changed on us. So it's a tough one. Now, Cali, I can't. You can never guarantee you're going to catch fish on a fishing trip, but that's the closest I could come to guaranteeing fish is Calaveras catfish. And Jason, you lived up this way, so have you ever fished any of the power plant lakes?
Yeah. I've fished Calaveras. I fished. I can't remember what it's called now. It used to be Decker Lake there in Austin. We used to camp quite a bit over at the Lake Bass Drop, and that was Power Plant Lake, and that was actually really good fishing.
Yeah,
a lot of
good
grass,
catfish and good bass in Bass Drop.
Yeah, some real good bass. I've caught some really nice ones out there. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Got 2 minutes, folks. Folks in the chat, Mark, Monica, what are y'all doing for Christmas this year? You guys going somewhere? You staying home? Guys in the panel, what you got coming up beyond Christmas? We've got 2 weeks now for our next show. So between now and then, what you all got coming up? I know we just talked about some of it, but Grant's going to be hunting. And
yeah, if I have success, there will be a video.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's what I want to hear.
Awesome. Jason, what do you got planned after Christmas? Fishing or hunting?
Fishing, hunting wise, I'll be fishing down here. I mean, as much as I can get out. I mean, January surprisingly is great for trout down here. So I'll be out in the kayak. If it's cold, I'll be bundled up. But yeah, I've got some videos on my channel of me out there bundled up catching trout. So
nice.
And then we usually have a javelina hunt at the Chaparral Wildlife Management Area in February. So looking forward to that. We usually go and try to get in on standby if able to do that this year, then we'll give it a go.
Cool. Very cool. Stanley, what you
Yeah,
got coming
I'm
up for the next 2 weeks?
Next 2 weeks, I'm going to be hounding Jason about hunts.
Go for it.
Very cool.
I'm gearing up. We're still, you know, we're always in this like hiatus phase this time of year where I'm kind of like I'm done with being on YouTube vacation. I'm ready to get out there and do some things, but there's few things to do. I'm waiting for a freeze, and once a freeze happens, then I'll be doing some clamming.
Cool.
They're obviously trout fishing. Jason's got me sold on that. All he had to do was say that it was a good month for it, and I'm like, okay, let's go do this because bay fishing is not my forte. But you know, I'm all about it, whatever. Especially if we're out there clamming and stuff like that. And we got Mexico coming up, so all I have to do is make my way I just got to make my way through until the end of January, and then it's Mexico. And you know me, like it's going to be Mexico videos. Like it'll take me a couple days to start editing. It's going to be Mexico videos from February until April sometime.
Good deal. Good deal. All right. We got any alibis?
And then we kick off the new season.
Merry Christmas to everybody in chat and Happy New Year. We'll see you on the 3rd.
Yeah, we will see
Have
y'all.
a wonderful season and be safe.
Yep. We'll see you all next year.
That's right. Gentlemen, y'all have a wonderful evening. It's been a blast. Can't wait to kick off the new season on this as well.
Yeah. And Jason, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you coming in.
Oh,
Yes,
thanks so
man.
much for having me along. It's been fun. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, guys.
We'll do it again.
Links
good.
in description.
Yep. Gonna get this right one of these days, guys.